Good morning. It's August 11 and it's 9 a.m. It's already kind of warm. It's not record-setting warm, but the humidity is already making perspiration and sweat happening. So it's going to be hot and humid. I intend to work on pounding in the deer fences, posts. I've got some to do, and that's one of today's goals. I thought it would be interesting before I go and do that. Go and do that and become a hot, sweaty, angry mess, that I would take a look at our farm stand and what we've got right now. This is the first year. It's a concept of how we're going to display. And so you can see I'm walking on Slattery Road here, and let's spin the camera around so that we can see what a patron would see as they're driving up. Okay, so it's the top of the hill at Slattery Road in Winter, Wisconsin. The property is actually 4192 North, and we have kind of a vanity road to the driveway that's Apple Lane, and that's appropriate because we got the apple orchard. But we have our sign that we set up probably about 4 seasons ago. Sometimes it's obstructed by lilies, but that's just temporary. Pumpkin Kid Farm is who we are, and this is our first farm stand, and I have set up some collapsible tables just for concept on how we might set up produce. And we've got some cardboard flats that we can load up, some decorative baskets, perhaps for flowers. We will be having tomatoes, cucumbers, not too many blueberries this year, but a ton of apples. I'll have coolers that will have bottles of apple cider, fresh sweet cider. And another table here just kind of shows a concept of how we would arrange. I've got 4 tables altogether. Susie did the flowers, the flower planter that used to be over by the sauna, and we moved it. There's more sunshine here, and the flowers will be more healthy and looked at more, paid more attention to. So we've got 4 tables all together, and hopefully we can do a pricing scheme. Let's go on into, this is a converted hunting shack. I know it's about the size of a telephone booth or a latrine, but it used to be a hunting shack. It is now going to be our farm stand. I've added some windows, and this is what it looks like on the inside. You would enter and see a dry whiteboard. You'll be able to sign. The guest book. This is last year's pricing scheme, so we'll adjust it with different items and different prices. And this is it so far, just to keep it out of the rain. We do have an Honesty payment box, which is nothing more than a locked mailbox or a letter box. And we've set up a Venmo account for the farm, and so we can just be in out of the rain, if you will, or when we pack up we can put the tables and chairs in there with the coolers and stuff. And so this is our first stab at a farm stand. Once again, it will be an on your honor kind of a thing. I'm trying to figure out how all this stuff will fit into the building with the crates and the baskets and the scales and the tables and the coolers, all of that. But this is another point of display. It can serve as like a big honkin' table, and so I've just taken the bread racks and put them on a tilted surface so that customers can, I don't know, it's facing the customers. And the signage here will definitely be down roadside at County Road W and Slattery. So this is just temporarily parked here. But then this is the second side of the hay wagon. We are under a tree. I don't know if that's a concern, but it certainly feels cool with the shade. And yeah, that's all I wanted to add was incorporating the hay wagon. I don't know if it's cucumbers, tomatoes, other produce, flowers, maybe not flowers, but. So lastly, the concern is, will all of the entire setup that we looked at earlier, will it fit in the little shed? And so yes it will, and I'll show you how it fits. We've got let's, I guess, start from the back towards the front. We've got in here the 3 tables, and I've got the styrofoam coolers here on the ground, and I just do the produce flats loose on top. Over here to my right, I've got some paper bags and boxes with the folding chair, and I've got the butt pad and another like the decorative baskets and such here, and it will fit in easily. All I have to fit in here now are these 2 flats of boxes, and then the last thing I'll pack in was this table, thinking that when I set up, I'll have a table to set up first, and then the loose stuff I'll just kind of unload onto the table, and then bring the stuff out and set appropriately. So I think it's going to work. It would be nice if I had some shelving in here. That might be something that we consider, that for storage I can stack stuff up high or utilize those hooks somehow. But for now, this will work. The most important is that we finally get to unhook this. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Unhook this and turn it to there. I think just a few weeks we're going to be open, so stay tuned. Pumpkin Kid Farm coming at you soon. So we're in downtown Winter, Wisconsin, and I need to do some grocery shopping and just touch base, maybe get some fuel. But this is my second choice of shopping here. Standing in front of the Chippewa Bank, across the corner from the Winter Co-op. The co-op has about 64% of what I need, so it's emergencies only. We do have a post box, and a drinking fountain. I'm super thirsty, but it's not turned on. So I guess to get my refreshment, I have to go into the winter co-op. But we got some shoppers there, equally desperate people, I suppose. Stocking the freezers. So the state fair is coming up, the Minnesota State Fair, and we are excited. All the kids are coming up for that. So my shopping is going to be kind of state fair related. Let's see. I'm kind of got a hankering for the cheese curds, but I think I can wait for the state fair. It's hard to beat the Mousetrap State Fair cheese curds. Maybe I'll run into somebody I know. I know for tonight I'll probably make maybe an Asian dinner. Do they have American Asian? Like a stir fry. Nothing looks good here. What else? Maybe I'll grab a pizza. Wait, this is interesting. Here's a cooler. It's got some stuff. I'm interested in Freezy Pops. They probably want like $2.50 for those. I don't see a pricing scheme. I'll pass. Oh, here's another cooler. I remember when the kids used to get those. Soda pops, snacks. Let's get some snacks. We need some. Oh, we have corn chips, so we'll get I don't see any good snacks. Pretzels, maybe. Yeah. I'm a fan of these. At least we got something. How much do they want for apple juice? They're on sale, 2 for $6. Got the knee pads on. Say, do you have, I'm thinking of Freezy Pops that come in the push-ups. And I've checked here, checked there, and they're kind of like fruit juice flavored.
Yeah, you're in the orange.
Yeah.
I know what they are, but I don't see them today.
I don't think you have them.
They're usually in that one.
All right. Thank you for checking. That's what I want. And I can't get it. Like I said, 64%. I'm just doing circles around here. Any condiments? Hey, how you doing?
Doing good. You?
Hungry, and I'm at the right spot, right?
Oh, yeah, that's not a good idea to shuffle your hungry.
All right.
Yeah, have a good one.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Been down here before. Let's just check out this segment in the car, and I realized that it wasn't very positive, so I just decided to eliminate it. Sometimes I can be kind of sarcastic, and so I just needed to eat my pretzels and shut up, but I decided to leave it in because it's a placeholder of shopping experience in general and spending money. I realized in the store that since they didn't have what I wanted, and I was being really specific with what I wanted, I could easily make it at home. And so I was formulating an idea on my way back in the car. And so my brainchild is about to occur in T minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good morning. It's the 13th of August. And I say this so that when I look at this in the future, I'll know when these trees are going to be ready to harvest, because that's what we're doing today. We're in the Norland section of the orchard, and these are our first to harvest. And so let me take the camera over and see where we're talking about. We have a dedicated quadrant for our Norland trees, and so this is pretty much the stand in Norlands. We've got 2 down there, and then over to the left we have some failed Wolf River, and we'll replant here. But these 5 over here, the mature ones, those are State Fair. So I was out here yesterday just because the Norlands are overbearing, and we've got branches that are way too heavy. You can kind of see up in here, we've got a cluster that I didn't get, but thinning out the trees are important. It's imperative, because for the quality of the apples, as well as the integrity of the tree. So these are the Norland trees. I've taken a few bushels off to kind of thin them out, and I've mentioned in previous videos that I'm curious about these because I've always been absent when they've been producing. And so this year I'm here and I can see and taste what they are. You can tell by the ground that it's just littered here, and I wouldn't be surprised if we hear a thump anytime soon, because they're just dropping. what's frustrating by taking the apples off of the tree this ripe is that you pick one and 4 fall to the ground. So we've taken to a shake the branch kind of method and catching it with tarps, but I'm not doing that today. I'm just spot picking the Norlands, as well as some branches on the state fair over here to our left. So, for example, on this one, I can see the Norland is getting quite a good blush in the sunshine. Let's grab another example over here. That's going to be a Norland, and they're on the sweeter side, and they're definitely ready. They're a softer apple than what we have in the orchard, but the state fairs, let's take a look at a state fair in comparison. These are have less blush. What's a good example? You get more blush in the sunshine, but we are definitely more of a green apple, greenish apple, and more hard, crisp, and tart. So these are starting to drop. Let's see, when I told you it was greener, this one is definitely red, but it's got, I'm going to get rid of it, it's got a blemish on it. We did not get to spraying this year, but we still have a lot of apples anyway, more than what we can handle. Overbearing is the word. And I have to be cautious of particular branches that are overweight. So let's see. If we just take this one, for example, there's sweetness, but almost makes you pucker. And you think, oh, this is not ripe. This is perfect. Okay, so we have our setup here. In the wash basin, we've got Norland apples. This is one bushel per side, so there's 2 bushels here. And they've been washing overnight, so they're nice and cool. Yesterday, they were a little bit soft, starting to get mushy. That's what is typical of Norland apples. They are kind of a soft apple. We've got the grinder, we got the press, we've got things rinsed out, and I think we're ready to start with the grinding aspect of it. So let's set up the press before we do anything. What I've got is the crude mesh, and how I do it is I just kind of invert it, and then it's captured or pinched in between the stainless steel frame and the cast iron base. And so I just kind of go like this. The risk is that the filter or the bag gets trapped inside with the palmas, right? So we don't want that. So this is largely rinsed out. Let's do a thorough rinse again, because we're going to be having cider in there. And this being rinsed out again. Okay, and that seems to be good. We will get rid of most of the debris that we can, you know, leaves, stems. When I was setting this up, I found a hornet's nest over there, and so I think they're largely gone, but oh look, there's a honeybee right there. Pew. Friend, go be free. That's for later. All right, so we can point the camera more in this direction. Okay, so these are the containers. I got the stubby one, which will be for the press, and that fits nicely under there. The taller one, which is where we need it there, I got my riser blocks so that the bucket fits under there nice. It's powered up. I'll need to hook up the water soon, but let's do our secret blend. What do I think is going to be good? So first off, let's the Norland apple, and I'll set this aside and set it there, and then I'll take, excuse me for eating, then I'll take a bite out of the State Fair. State Fair. And lastly, the secret ingredient is a Dolgo crab apple. Let's wash this off. Spit out the previous. And oh my, that's going to be good. So we'll set those there for comparison. Once again, Norland, State Fair, Dolgo. We're going to make a blend, all right? And let's hook up the water. And there's that. And let's do our mix here. So let's introduce half a bushel of State Fair, and we'll do our blend. So half a bushel there and half a bushel here. Good. And then our delicious crab apples. I'll do half a container of this, and half a container of this over here. Make them equal. It all gets mixed up in the end. It all comes out in the grind. All right. So this makes it easy to remove the leaves. Get them all nice and wet and washed. And this will be a medley of apples. You can tell Norland, State Fair, and Dolgo, right? That's what's in here. The State Fair is going to be so much fun. We for years have gone to the Minnesota State Fair and we have our traditional favorites, and then we look forward to the new stuff. It's the end of summer. It's before the kids go back to school. I have never been to the Wisconsin State Fair, but I'm curious. It's just, we live in the Twin Cities, and so that's convenient. So here we are for pretty much washing and de-stemming, getting out the woody materials. You don't want that in your cider. It's not that bad. It gets filtered out. But let's fire up the grinder, the beast, right? And so noise. We almost have a full load. Let's get the camera and see what that looks like. The camera eye view. All right. Let's grab a handful and just see what it looks like. And this is what comes out. Okay, we'll shut this off. Hit the safety. All right. And let's take a look at our bite. Okay, so we got Norland State Fair crabapple already starting to brown. We got our first load in here in the grind, and so let's load up the press. I just use my hands, and in case any falls out, I put it in the bucket, and so I just kind of go like this and ease it in so that the straining net doesn't follow it or collapse. That's kind of key to this whole press, is you can see how the pomace is starting to grab the net. I'm going to stop for a second and adjust. And you can see the cider is already running. That's just due to the gravity. You can see just from the weight of the juice that it's starting to flow. All right. I almost need a clip to hold the bag in place. That's where you need a buddy. Do I have a buddy? I don't think I have a buddy today. And it smells really good. So I'll do about 2.5 loads of this. We'll fill up this container before we turn on the press. So let's tidy things up here. Let that flow. We can return to, let's put it on grinder cam. How about that? Grinder cam. Will this work? I want it to work. Grinder cam. Grinder cam. Let's do it. Okay. So without grinding the camera, I don't think that works very well. Of course, when I'm holding the camera, my efficiency goes way down. But we're just making Freezy Pops today, right? We're just making Freezy Pops. Keep that in mind. And we're using basically scraps from the orchard. You know, these were ready, but the orchard is not open up yet because most of our varieties are not ready. These are just the early ones, the Norlands and the State Fair. And plenty are still on the tree for the next week or so. So we're coming up on the end of our first tank. Grinding. And come on this side and fill. Okay, I gotta stop and straighten out the screen because it's the one-handed problem, right? The one-handed problem. Okay. I do have a spatula, but I found nothing beats your hands. Sometimes a tool gets in the way and you just need your hands. So cleanliness is paramount. I learned that from home brewing a few years back, and so I do best practices with cleanliness always. You know, if it's just me, who cares? But if other people are going to try this stuff, you got to take the precaution. Okay, so I've got the press here, and I could do a little bit more, but let's just press it anyway. So I'll put the lid on. And the wing nut keeps this lid on so things don't turn into a bomb. I open up this until it starts pouring water or squirting water. That lets you know that the bladder is, I've got the valve open. So let's shut off the bottom valve. Why didn't I notice that before? Doot, 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 doot. Valve shut. All right. It's because when I cleaned it in last fall, I had the valve open. Okay. Now, we're starting to press. You can see the flow. You can see the flow. And I'll need to get a new bucket soon. So let's get a replacement bucket real quick. Doot, 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 doot. Okay, we're back. And we have a bucket. And we can swap it out and try to minimize our losses. All right, ready for this? Minimize the losses. All right, so from here I've got my pre-cleaned bottles, and I have my strainer or my funnel, and from here I will put in my fine filter. All right, and this will, oh, it looks like this. I'll just pour right into there. We have water on the top, and so we'll close that valve and we'll continue to press. All right. So we're going to, or you're going to watch me pour without missing a drop. Uh-oh, overflow. Overflow again. We're feeding the ground. My flexi tripod is sometimes difficult to set up, and sometimes the filter gets clogged. That's why it's not going down. So your little adjustment. Here come the honeybees to help. I used to say that all the cider is filtered through honeybees, but I don't say that anymore. So that's basically 1 2.5 gallon bucket or something. Let's see how the other one is doing. Still pressing. Okay. All right. We'll need another bucket. This one's definitely going to overflow, so I'll keep an eye on the level. Okay. Yeah, I'm overflowing that one. So, doot 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 doot. Come on. Hands. I guess I could shut off that water. I think that press is done. It's time to give her a try. See, when you press your own cider, you have the luxury of the first sip. That's something that nobody has done this before. I'm the first for this sip. Wow, that is good. That's going to make excellent Freezy Pops. Wow. Awesome. So let's take a look at our bit apples. And it's probably been a half an hour. And there's very little change. You know, the sugars are making it turn brown. A fresh bite versus the old bite. Oh, the New Orleans are good. These offer a sour component, which I really love. It makes it tart. This one's very dry and bitter, but I like that. And this is sweet. And so with that blend, oh my gosh, that's a smash home run. And I have another load to press, so I expect double this. I'm at, that's a 3 gallon. So we're at 4.5 gallon. We'll double that. We're looking at 8 gallons. That's more than enough for the Freezy Pops. And so even though it's not really terribly warm out, it's humid and I've been busy, so that's why I'm sweating a lot. But what I'm going to do is take off the microphone and try to not lose the magnet. All right, I got the microphone here. Yay, not lost. And I'll set it there, and I'll take my glasses off and I'll set it there. So whenever I'm pressing, and it's typically a hot late summer day, what I like to call a tradition is the dunk, and the quest is, can I come up with, I get a point scheme. If I can get a bigger apple, that's 10 points. If I get a smaller apple, well, that's kind of cheating. I'll give myself 5 points for that. And if I get one of these little itty bitty guys in my mouth, that's only 1 point. So cross your fingers, I'm going for the big points. I guess that's a 10-pointer. Oh my gosh. It feels good, tastes good. Thank you for coming along. You know, making cider is really pressing business around here. Okay, so here we are. I think this is a good setup. It's a first time for me. I've got these pack of 600 Freezy Pop sleeves. Oh, I don't have to cut the bag. Let's just take out a few. They say there's an included funnel. So I see that here. So let's pop this open and see what's in the package. I'll just take out a few of these. So juicing earlier today netted me just over 9 gallons. 3 containers, and then I will decant from this jar. I have no idea how many of these little sleeves will be filled, or how much volume 600 Freezy Pops is. I have no idea. So just opening up the product. I think these are self-sealing, so I might have to fiddle with them to get them to open. Let's see, how do it work? I see the tear off line, but is this going to be how it is? Just very difficult, each and every one. All right, so I managed to get one done, and I'll open up the self-sealing, right? Oh, I'm hoping to get better at doing this, that's for sure. And then I think you take your funnel, and there should be a fill line. I'll put the finished product in here. There should be a fill line. I don't see it. Maybe this brand doesn't have the fill line, but I'm going to fill up to here to allow for expansion due to freezing, etc. So we'll eyeball it. So I think I'll try the first one just by hand and then seal it up. Oh, I hope this is not going to be just a sticky mess, but we're going to figure it out. Maybe I'll pour, I don't want it in my lap, so we're going to do do. Let's check our progress here. What do you think? A little bit taller for the future ones. Let's add, it's hard to get a re-grip on these once you let go, and then your hand kind of obstructs what you're trying to see. So let's just add a little. Was that even worth it? Okay, set that aside, pinch this off, and that would be number 1. So let's proceed. Maybe we get better at this, right? Okay, that one went easier. Insert the funnel and just get to a point where I can fill and watch, right? And let's see. I'm going to remove the funnel out of my hand and pinch it off. Okay. Am I consistent? Sort of consistent. I want to make sure that they're sealed. I don't want a leaky, sticky mess. So let's go ahead and do a dozen of these and pop them in the freezer. All right. And then basically you get a gist of it. After you watch me do 12 or 10 or 5, I don't know, just know that I'm probably going to be doing 600. Okay. But I would like to know, see, I'm not doing it right. Boom. I'd like to know, say like 10 of these, how much does this carafe fill, I guess? I don't know. 30? What are your guesses? And already have my first spill. And pinch it off. Pinch it off. All right. And what will be interesting for you is, do I get better at doing this? We'll see. Probably the big thing is how full the sleeve is and how to measure when your hand is there in the way. I guess that's good. Set that down. We're at 4 of these. All right. Do 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 do. Did you know that that Benny Hill song where they're doing fast motion, that's copyrighted? I can't use that. All right. Filling number 5 to the perfect level every time. And there's that. So you get the idea. Up on the end of my carafe, and I've got my tub almost filled, but I have refined my abilities. This is definitely production work, kind of like stuffing envelopes or whatnot, but you improve on the routine. So I found that if you just pinch it, now I can see the level of fill, and I just need to rest it on something too. I don't need to have it floating in the air, and it fills a whole lot easier and fuller if I do it this way. And then I'm not doing up and down and up and down and up and down. And so, see, that one is fairly easy. And try to keep the sticky, syrupy stuff out of the tub. But yeah, there's one. And I might have one more in here in the carafe. This is maybe a half shot. We'll see how it goes. Get a good idea of estimate on what these things can hold. Yeah, this is going to be a fraction of a tube, I think. See if I can get it all. Yeah. it's a halfer. So I'll fill that up with the next batch. I got a bottle here, but for just a estimation, what the carafe, I usually have orange juice or ice water here. So we'll do, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and a half. We'll call that almost 18 Freezy Pops out of a carafe. So now you know.